Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the G&T podcast. Yes, I am.
Your water obsession.
I know, it's good to stay hydrated.
Yeah.
Stay hydrated, it keeps you alive.
It does. I put him on that water, by the way.
He was
made water cool.
He was the first man to say, people need to be hydrated because 72% of their bodies are filled with H2O.
Yeah. I sat him down and I went, let's get some water into your body.
I don't think he has.
Get a cool water bottle, like a big one maybe one with all the times of the day on them. So you
are you just going to
get a little water schedule?
Are you just going to jump into the catch-up section and ruin my story? Well, thank you for that.
Welcome back to the G&T podcast, guys.
What's the story? Good evening. How are we all?
So good to see you all. It's been a busy, hard week.
Has it?
But we're back. Yeah.
I had a very easy week.
That's a contrast. But we'll get into that. Just make sure to subscribe, please, right now. Press it right now. Right now. Tell
us, why was your week so busy?
I will, after I also remind them to buy the merch.
Oh, sorry. I thought you jumped the gun there.
Do some plugs there, quick. Buy our merch right now. If you're a dual merchant, they're doing well, and we're going to drop a few new lines soon. And then also sub to our Patreon,
please,
and listen on Spotify.
Please.
All that stuff already. But yeah, let's get into it. What's going on this week?
How was your week? It was very busy. Tell us all.
Yeah. I just have a lot to do because I am moving out of the house. But that is for a bit later. We'll get back to that.
Right.
Get back to me. Yeah.
So go on. Continue on.
That's it. We're basically just going to start by catching up on what's been going on.
Man literally says, I'm moving out, and goes, yeah, that's all I was really busy with.
I know, yeah.
Tell us more.
Hang tight till the end. So just a quick recap. Sorry, levels are high. The sewage ship is free. Is that how you pronounce it? Suez?
Oh, you don't want me to talk about my week? Okay. Jeez.
Well, actually, yeah.
Anyway, so my week, because Travis had a really busy week. Mine wasn't as busy. I went to Dunn's, shout out Dunn's Stores. That's Tesco. Every little helps, but Dunn's Stores, I don't know your slogan. I got this. So this is my water bottle. This is 2.2 litres of water every day. And what I like about it is, right, it's got the times down the sides. So it's got 7 a.m, good morning. 9 a.m, you've got this. 11, remember your goal. 1 p.m. is that's it. 3 p.m. is keep drinking. 5 is no excuses. 7 is a little bit more, and 9 is well done. Now, see, this is a very funny bottle, right? Because there's not a hope on God's green earth I am awake before 9 a.m.
Sure, the guys are. Can you see it?
Yeah, you can. Yeah. I had turned. Yeah. So it's
you're not up at 9.
Not a hope on God's green earth am I up at 9. So what I like to do is I like to fill it, and then when I wake up after 9, I play catch up. So the reason I've got this bottle is because it's like I'm in competition with myself. Obviously, we can't do anything in the middle of a lockdown. So the only competition I have with myself is to be better than I was yesterday. So what I do is I try to get further down the bottle every day. Now, today was a bit of an issue. I left it a bit late, but as you can see now, we're at 9 o'clock, and it is 9:30 now. So we're getting there with it. But yeah, I would highly recommend this bottle. It reminds yourself to keep hydrated. And yeah, it's an all-round good purchase. Now, you may say, you had a wild week. I did not. I also got a teapot. Yes, a teapot. This teapot now holds about 1 litre of tea. It's a ceramic teapot. €10 from Dunn's also homeware section. I would highly recommend it. Now, you may ask, why? Why did you buy a teapot, Gordon? Yep. Anyway, so what I did was I bought a teapot. And you may ask, why did you buy a teapot, Gordon? I was here and I was making tea, and I really got annoyed because I'd have to put the tea bag in the cup, then get the kettle, leave the box of tea up here, then I'd have to take the tea bag out of the cup, then I'd have to put the tea bag in the bin, which is completely inefficient. So what I did was I went and got a teapot, and now I put the tea bags into the teapot, I pour, and if I want a hot drop, I can put that in the cup from the teapot. It is a glorious teapot. Obviously, when restrictions open up again, we can now have guests and have a teapot with mugs and everything. I also got a jug.
Now, you may think, what's it like living with 3 content creators, TikTokers, DJ, from Cork, from Donegal, all over the country. This is an insight.
Actor.
It is an actor. It's really, really exciting.
So I got a jug, right? The jug now is about this big, right? I know I can't really drink milk because it makes my face break out, which is okay. So what I do is I swap between oat milk and normal milk. We get the normal milk for, the future, if people are to call to the house, because not everyone drinks oat milk, and it's a bit... Anyway, so yeah, I got the jug. Now, all I need to do is get a little ceramic tea bag holder. So, when you take the tea bags out of the teapot or whatever, that you put them on the side, yeah. Also, I might get a plate for biscuits. I'm unsure.
Sounds like you had a very exciting week.
I'm not I'm not finished.
Okay, continue.
So anyway, I also went for a walk in the forest within our county.
Yeah.
We live in South County Dublin, and there is a forest nearby, which is within my 5k. Walk that. It was stunning. I saw a fox.
Did you?
I saw a fox.
Oh.
Well, see this. I know now.
You could see them at McDonald's.
You could, but I saw it in it's a natural habitat. So I saw a fox. I saw a badger. I saw a little brown rabbit.
Huh.
Yeah, stunning.
Have you seen any red squirrels?
No.
Yeah. Red squirrels are making a comeback.
So you said
red squirrels are back, baby.
I was also in Corking Park the other day, and I saw a swan. It's actually a lovely park. If anyone is within the 5k of Corking Park, what I would do is I would go there and I would do the loop around it. It actually takes you nearly down to Clondalkin Village. It's got lovely lakes with fish. But if you catch the fish, you have to throw them back.
Oh yeah, well that's to be expected.
Yeah,
what type of fish are they?
I don't know. I don't fish.
Oh,
and then they've got peacocks.
Peacocks. Really?
Yep, peacocks. They've got peacocks in the car, close to the little Oriental Garden, which I'm surprised Travis hasn't gone to.
Yeah,
it's quite the Oriental Garden.
That's my thing. Yeah,
and then there's a little cycle track. There's also a dog park. So like if you want to take your dogs in there, we don't have one, but if you want to take your dog in there and walk around, it's very picturesque. It's lovely.
Well, shout out to all the animals. Especially the red squirrel.
Shout out to all the animals.
Do you know why the red squirrel is coming back?
No, but I'm sure you're going to tell me.
I am. Because the pine marten is also making a comeback. Do you know what a pine marten is?
No, but tell me.
I didn't know these existed until last year. They look like a little... they look like a ferret. Like a little brown ferret. They're really, really cute. If you haven't seen a pine marten, look it up. But they're native to Ireland, right?
Pine marten photo attached.
Yeah. Funny if I just didn't attach it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're wild, obviously, and they're native to Ireland, I think. But they come back and they're really cute, but they're really vicious. But apparently they just kill all the grey squirrels, and the grey squirrels are the ones that are killing the red squirrels. So because the grey squirrels are having a bit of a decline, the red squirrels are coming back, which is kind of cool because I'm ginger and I support the red creatures and critters. For a minority. How
was Bitcoin this week?
Good.
I saw you posting about it.
Yeah.
Tell us all.
PayPal adapted crypto payouts, which means you can... Sorry, not payouts. It's either deposit or payout, but they've adopted it in some form so you can, you can actually use it on PayPal.
Is that just Bitcoin?
No, Bitcoin. There's a few other ones. Bitcoin, Ethereum, the most popular ones. Which is a huge step for Bitcoin.
Why?
Because it's another step closer to adoption, and that's what everyone that's involved in Bitcoin wants is adoption. So that drives up the value, that drives up the usability. Anyone that's holding it is going to benefit from that.
But is anyone actually spending Bitcoin?
Well, that's the way it's going. It's not very easy to spend at the minute. You can spend it on the dark web, and you can spend it. A lot of airlines take it. A lot of cruise ship companies take it. Adoption is growing right now. Yeah, everyone's hodling, but it's evolving. It's a store of value at the minute. So
can you break down a Bitcoin? Like how you have a €20 note.
Yeah.
Can that be broken down into lesser?
Yes.
What are they called?
A Satoshi.
Sorry.
A Satoshi.
So how many Satoshi make up one Bitcoin?
Oh God, I don't know.
Like this is what
zero. So
this is what I'm trying to figure out. Like if I want to go buy something with a Bitcoin, do I be like, here's my one Bitcoin, or do I?
No. It just depends, like where you're trying to buy it. It'll have a price, and then that price will be given in Bitcoin, depending on what the market says it's worth. So, yeah, it's kind of hard to describe. But if you're buying something worth $50, it's going to be like 0.00005 or whatever. And that's the way it is at the minute.
And does it take off your Bitcoin then and say like you have how many Satoshi? We'll say one Bitcoin, and if you take point something off it, you've got 9,999.
Yeah, it can be fractioned.
So it's like a bank account.
Yeah, yeah. I know. Bitcoin to the moon, guys. Everyone buy Bitcoin.
And
it's not financial advice.
What do you think PayPal's usage for it will be?
I don't really know. It's probably just for ease. You know, more functionality, more customers. Yeah, if you accept more currencies with your platform, your payment platform, you're going to get more customers. Simple as.
And where do you think it's going to go after this adaptation?
Grilling me here.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I like to find out from someone that's knowledgeable on a subject.
Where is it going? I don't know. You see, we're in the middle of a bull market. I expect Bitcoin to keep rising in value, because during this bull market it's basically spiked by institutional buying, which means you fucking Tesla, all the big multi-million billion corps are basically putting their some of their liquidation in Bitcoin. They're doing that, I believe, as a safe haven asset to keep their money from losing value. It could be due to many things: lack of faith in the government, inflation, money printing, whatever it is. But that is kind of what is supposed to have driven this bull run. So we're in the middle of this bull run. It's going up in value, and after that, I don't really know. I still have doubts on whether Bitcoin is going to be the new money. I'm not sure it will be, but it's got a purpose somewhere. Where
would you like to see it go?
I would like it to be a very valuable safe haven asset, the same as gold. That's where I'd like it to go, and to be in that realm, it's going to be worth millions.
And do you have plans for Bitcoin?
Yeah, I'm gonna sell some when it passes 100,000. Yeah, per coin.
And what will you do with that then? Would you reinvest it in Bitcoin? Would you reinvest it in something else?
I don't know yet. I haven't thought that far ahead.
What did you make of Deliveroo's IPO today?
I don't have a clue.
Deliveroo launched on Stock Market today. It was their IPO, and they debuted much below their market value.
Oh, sorry. So they've hit a loss. Okay.
Well, undervalued, really. Made claims of work practices and malpractice and so on and so forth.
Right. Well, that makes sense.
£3 something.
Yeah.
Good time.
I thought they were doing better during the pandemic, no? Because everyone was delivering.
No, it's due to all the societal factors affecting it and the controversies that have come with Deliveroo. Right. Yeah. All the workers protesting for rights and stuff. So it's really affected their share price.
Yeah.
But the only thing is they can rescind the IPO, I think is up until next Monday. So it's going to be very interesting to see what they do, because it was an underwhelming offering.
Oh, okay.
What
does that mean for them? What does that mean for them?
That they go back to being a private company, not a public company.
Right.
What would you do if if you were running a company and was undervalued on your initial public offering?
What would I do? I don't have a clue.
Really?
It's not my forte.
I think I'd pull it.
I don't know. There's a lot more to it, and to give anything on that, I wouldn't really have enough knowledge to do so. Yeah.
Interesting. Financial chats with Travis. This is beyond my realm, but he's the finance guru here, so.
Yeah, we're both very out of our depth in this conversation.
Yes.
Okay, so that's Deliveroo. That big ass ship got free.
The one in the Suez Canal.
Yeah.
So the Suez Canal is a canal that Egypt have territory over.
Yeah.
Are you aware of what happened?
Yeah, the ship lost power and it got lodged in the middle of basically what is the transportation shortcut between Asia and Africa. The ship had billions worth of cargo and fuel, and it got lodged. For every day it was lodged, they lost millions, or they lost billions.
Lloyds have said that they're expecting 100 million of a loss.
100 million? I thought it was in the billion
claim.
Range. Yeah,
that's one claim they were saying.
But it was an absolute disaster. Even all the ships from either side all got blocked, hundreds of them. And then there was more losses then for all the cargo and equipment or whatever it was in there that didn't get to its destination. So there was just having a delay of a few days for that amount of cargo just has a ripple effect on everything. But they just managed to lodge it free yesterday after about, I don't know how many days it was. 6 days, almost a week.
The Japanese owner has said he has not received any claims for compensation or to be sued yet, which is interesting because the divers boarded the boat yesterday. They're cooperating fully with the investigation, and the divers are inspecting the hull to see what state it's in at the moment.
Yeah.
Quite interesting though that the smallest thing was the thing that freed it. A JCB digger.
Was it?
Mm.
What, that one from the meme that was
Yep.
digging at it? Are you joking?
No. It's always the smallest thing helps the biggest. Always.
Oh.
If things.
I've seen all the memes and I didn't
Well,
think
there's a
that was
tugboat.
actually...
Like tugboat obviously pulled it out,
Yeah.
but obviously the JCB digger was instrumental in that huge ships being released.
Well, that thing was almost the length of the not the Eiffel Tower, sorry, the Empire State Building, which is just ginormous. I don't think a JCB
It's actually huge. But see, this is what people always forget. It's always the smallest cog keeps the show on the road. Always.
That's it.
Always.
Life lesson from Gordon.
Yeah, but it was interesting to see that they got it out. Obviously, there's been a knock-on effect in relation to goods, services, and everything. Everything has been hiked in price due to this. But it's an interesting look that if the Suez Canal was ever not to be there,
Yeah. Well, it takes what was it? A 12-day journey down to a 12-hour journey. So that is significant for trade, obviously. But I'm just going to fly on. What else is going on? What do you think of the restriction announcement?
I don't think there was anything shocking. I don't think there was...
to be expected, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. The cases are still high. I think there was 447 today. I think people have become fatigued with lockdown. I think that...
You don't say.
I think people have become fatigued and they're getting a bit restless. However, France, as of 20 minutes ago, have gone into another national lockdown for 4 weeks. All schools, all creches, all colleges, all workplaces and all shops to be closed down because their cases are skyrocketing.
Yeah.
They have a curfew, a nightly curfew. So, people, you can get as annoyed as you want and you can protest and say, I'm fatigued. But at the end of the day, there's people dying. There's hospital staff working. There's essential workers working. They have to go into work every day. And the thing about it is, we can't go to the shop. Yeah, okay, big deal. There's people dying, like. It's beyond that. And when I hear people shouting about other causes, where were you before this? It's very interesting. I find it very interesting. It's always even more interesting to me that people will take up the mantle of a cause when it benefits them to get what they want.
Well, I think as a country, we're more divided than we've ever been.
I wouldn't say so. I think
really?
No.
The public perspective on lockdown?
No, I wouldn't.
I think that's changed significantly.
I wouldn't say the public perspective. I think the government's handling of it. They're dissatisfied with the government handling. Yeah. However, there's only a minority that are breaking the restrictions.
I think willingness to comply has shifted greatly.
I would be inclined to disagree.
Why?
Because simply the data just reflects it. Cases number is going down, the R number is going down. Obviously, it's a week to 2 weeks behind, so we won't know till next week. Then you'll know based on the data. Now people are moving more because cell tower traffic that's monitored by the CSO has said that people's movements have increased. The crime figures were released last week. Burglaries are down. Aggravated burglaries are up because people are staying at home. So therefore, people, when they're getting burglared, they're at home. Murders are down. Gangland crime is down.
I've seen that as well. That was really weird.
It's not really.
It's very obvious to be expected.
Drug offences up. Drug detections are up. They're all up because there's less traffic on the road, and people are at home, so there's less crime.
Yeah.
People's willingness to comply, I would disagree. I think it's a minority, as we see. There has been many.
I'm talking about the general public's perspective on just lockdown in general. I think near the start, or even like in January or Christmas time or before that, it was very much stay at home mentality for the majority, and then you would have the outliers who never give a shit. But I think, let's just say the stay-at-home majority was maybe kind of like 80-20 or 90-10. I think that is starting to creep down to maybe 60-40.
What's giving you that impression? It's
what I see in social media. So anytime...
Could you give me a source on that?
No, this is just my. This isn't factual. This is what I think.
It's your interpretation.
Yeah, this is what I observe is going on.
Right.
And it is based solely on social media, because every time there is a video of people collecting.
Don't get your news from social media.
Yeah, not at all. But this is why it's our podcast and just our opinions.
It's not independent. news source. I recommend Reuters.
You recommend what?
Reuters.
Reuters?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's class. Did you ever read it?
Free plug.
No, they're literally class. They're classed through the news index throughout the world to be the most neutral.
Mm-hmm.
The Guardian, but the Guardian is ever so slightly left leaning.
Yeah.
You have Der Spiegel, you have the Post, the Washington Post, the Wall Street Journal, but that's slightly left leaning. So we're talking about the Guardian, Der Spiegel, and Reuters.
Okay. Well, anyways, back to my point. It's an observation, and you know, every time you see a video, for example, you see them a lot on TikTok, right? You know, it's a sunny day. There's loads of people at the park. Someone takes out the phone and is like, "What are you doing?" And then the comments used to be filled with, you know, just abuse towards these people, like, yeah, you know, this is a reason lockdown is lasting longer, etc., etc. And I'd always go through the comments just to see what the feedback is. But more and more, as I'm starting to see these videos, I'm starting to see more and more leveled out opinions. So more and more people are saying like, let them be, you know, they're enjoying their life, so what, fair play to is. And I think, in my opinion, that's changing. Do you think the longer this goes on?
Do you think that's based on the demographic that isn't in the comment section on TikTok?
It could be, but I noticed that on Facebook and Instagram as well.
I personally haven't.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't noticed the shift in it, even in relation to Twitter Twitter really. I haven't noticed it. The only thing I have noticed is people are complaining about the handling of it.
Yeah.
The mismanagement. People are complaining about that. What I would stick to is the data, like the amount of fines handed out for breaking restrictions, the amount of cases, the amount that the R number is at. I do think that the demographic of the comment section in TikTok would be different to people that would be out and about in general, because there's always going to be a select group in society that aren't going to listen anyway, and they're just going to be like, I'm going to live my life, because we've all seen videos that people are just like, I'm going to go about my life because I have to live experiences and stuff like that. So I don't think it is. I think people are fatigued, but I think it's more with the mismanagement and the leaks that the government keep offering. So like, there was an announcement yesterday, but there was leaks coming out since Friday. Some of them weren't true, some of them were true, and I think that's what people are annoyed about. It comes back to when we were in the 2008 property crash. The Minister for Finance and the Taoiseach at the time were asked, were we getting a bailout? And up until the day we got a bailout, they were saying no, the IMF aren't coming to town, no. So then, as far as I remember, it was Patrick Honohan, the central bank governor, I'm open to correction on this, came out and said, yeah, the IMF are coming in. And there was a national sigh of relief, because people were like, yeah, at least we know the crack now. So I think it's the mismanagement and the lack of communication is the key issue. I don't think there's been a shift. I think...
Well, every time they announce something, it is the same message, ultimately. There's a deadline, we don't meet the deadline, they say another few weeks.
Is that
and that is a kind of rollover announcement.
Is that a reflection of people's attitudes?
I mean, that is quite black and white. That's just what happens every time. The restrictions are laid down, and then there's
do you think that like, as you said, it's just a carousel of the same decision, but is the same decision being brought on because people aren't listening?
Possibly. I'm not really sure. Like, I've never been one to say like, it's because the airports aren't closed or whatever. Like, I'm not really sure why we're not reaching the levels we are. But
I would straight out, flat out say it. I believe that people aren't listening. I believe that people aren't adhering to the guidelines. I believe that more should be done from the government side. Do I think that the Irish public have done a lot? Yes, they have. Have they sacrificed? Yes, they have. There's a select group in society that haven't. Also, the government have mismanaged it completely. We should have sealed the airports. We should have implemented community testing. We should have hunted down the virus and used effective track and trace methods, which we essentially did not, through colloquial stories that I've heard and anecdotal stories. People getting a phone call to say that you were a close contact of someone 2.5 weeks ago. So if you're notifying someone that they were a close contact 2 weeks previous, how are you supposed to control that? Because if someone's walking around for 2 weeks that has been a close contact and doesn't have any symptoms and is asymptomatic, how many people have they passed it on to? How many people have they met within their 5k? So I think it's a culmination of everything. I think it's people not listening. I think it's the government's mismanagement. We're a year into a pandemic and we've only started doing community testing. There's several sites around Dublin at the moment where you can just walk in for free and get a test. Why was that not done a year ago?
Mandatory hotel quarantine as well.
Yeah, that's only just been implemented. That should have been implemented long ago. Now, I understand that we live on an island with a shared border in 2 different jurisdictions. I completely understand that. But, that's for the government to sort out. We could never seal the border because it would be against the Good Friday Agreement, which would be a shit show in itself. But I do think there should have been some collaboration between the two. There's a lot of mismanagement, I feel.
What did you think of the woman complaining about the mandatory
See, I
quarantine?
didn't see this video.
I didn't see it.
I saw your video, but I didn't see the original. Yeah.
So it's I think it's a nurse coming home from Australia, I believe. And this is what she's getting defended for mainly, even though it kind of still seems quite like an entitled video. But she's moving home from Australia with her family to work in the front line, I believe. Yeah. And I might be wrong in saying that, but she moved into mandatory quarantine, and there was 5 of them in total. So they were given 2 rooms, one double bed, and then another one with 2 double beds. So I believe that's enough beds for all of them, isn't it? There's 5 of them.
Yeah. How many beds?
3 double beds. So one
there's
room
2 kids
with a double bed.
There's 2 kids sleeping with each other. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, the video is quite funny because she's purposely looking to complain, but kind of over exaggerating things quite a bit. She starts with kind of looking at the table and saying like, all 5 of us eat here. This is just blowing it out of proportion. And then she goes into the 2 rooms, and then you can see like another table, and then this like full empty desk. And then she like stands in a really small gap between the bed and the wall, and she says, this is our exercise space. Not fit for exercise. And then it kind of walks through the corridor that joins the rooms, like an actual corridor. And then she has all her bags stretched open, like laid out flat like a butterfly, and saying, their bags are there because we've nowhere to put them. And then she just opens the wardrobe and says like, look at all this space. And it's like, well, you could have put yourself in the wardrobe maybe. And then she goes into her room then, which is the parents' room, and she's got all the week's lunches laid out in bags on the floor, saying that there's nowhere to put them, and then proceeds to show a full empty desk in the corner. So I don't know what the intent was behind this. Was it maybe just to try and get an upgrade, or was she like genuinely disgusted? But I mean, in my eyes, it just kind of seems very entitled. And I think maybe, I don't know if she thought maybe because she was a nurse that like she expected more or what it was, but these are weird times. This is quarantine. Did it
annoy you, the video?
Yeah, it did annoy me. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. And as I said, it's entitlement. I think the way she's looking at it is that she spent maybe around $8,000, and that is a lot of money, right? Because you're paying per person, and I believe the quarantine rate is something like $1,800, and I don't know how that works for families and children, but times 5 people, you're spending a good few thousand. And I think what she was doing was she saw what she was paying and expected a hotel to that standard, whereas it's not a holiday and it's not a typical hotel. It's quarantine for you to get back into the country. So the same rules don't apply. This is just what happens when you choose to travel. And let me just expand on that. The reason that she had the quarantine was because she had a layover in Dubai, and Dubai was on this list. So I believe the mandatory quarantine rules were being hinted at like 2 weeks ago and then implemented a week before that. So, maybe she didn't know about this, but at some stage she could have probably bought flights for everyone that were the lesser of the price than the whole quarantine that she paid, just to avoid Dubai. But instead just paid it and then came and then complained.
The one thing I think that the internet forgets is how a person feels. So no, I know you're laughing at that, but what I mean is, so this woman, I don't know who she is, has flown home. And obviously, she's got factors going on in her life and stuff like that, and she is upset by this room. She's like evidently upset enough to take out her phone and film it. And I think that what gets lost in there is that people forget that another person's feelings towards something are acceptable. You mightn't agree with them, but you have to accept them that, it might make them uncomfortable or they don't like it, and simple as that.
True. But
is it an entitlement thing?
It's a pandemic.
Oh, it is.
And you have to have the same rules for everyone. We could have that same sort of empathy when it comes to people that are breaking all the rules, like during the lockdown, and say, these are their feelings. They don't like to be cooped up in their house, but it's that cheesy line. We're all in this together, and we all have to do our part. These are unprecedented times. It is tough. It doesn't mean you're going to get any special conditions because you're not happy that your room is slightly uncomfortable. It just seems very privileged.
I don't think.
Does that not seem privileged?
I don't think. Is it entitled? No. Is it entitled? Obviously, I don't know because I haven't been in a mandatory quarantine hotel. However, what would you have suggested she did differently?
Suck it up.
Really?
Yeah. Not
discuss it with the hotel or...
I don't think anyone has done wrong by this woman.
I don't know either, but I'm just...
these hotels don't run themselves.
See, the thing
and these hotels are out of business.
See, the thing about it as well is, that logic can be applied to this pandemic.
But that's my point.
You suck it up. Another 6 weeks.
Yeah.
But people aren't willing to do so. I think it's hilarious. It's hilarious to me as well, the fact that, for one side to say suck it up and then the other side are like, no. So... we'll say the anti-lockdown crowd are, no, we want to live our lives, no, we da-da-da-da. So you can go both ways with it as well,
Yeah, but that's just the same as me saying, you should have empathy and this person's feelings are valid.
Exactly, it is. So, you have to differentiate between them. I think the difference there is that people are giving out that they can't go to the shops and go to the pub, whereas a woman who's flown home to work as a frontline worker and... paid for this. Understandable, as you said, it's irregular times. However, she was dissatisfied. I can understand that. But being dissatisfied, flying home to work in the Irish healthcare system as opposed to not being able to go down the local for a couple of pints is two different things.
Yeah.
Contextual, I suppose, has to be brought into it.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, it's not a holiday.
So basically, what we've taken for this is the video annoyed Travis enough to make a video.
Yeah.
So Travis hates nurses. Oh. That's what we're taking from this. Do you want to expand on that comment?
I obviously don't hate nurses. I appreciate all of you guys. I think her being a nurse doesn't get her, any extra credit in this situation.
I think it does.
I don't think it does.
I think anyone that's an essential worker, no matter what sector they're in.
But how do you govern things like that?
Because
you're an essential worker, you get more perks. How does that work? What are the restrictions and boundaries when it comes to this kind of thing?
Right. So
and this is actually the reason why they changed the vaccine rollout from after they vaccinate the vulnerable and the ill, that it's just done on an age basis because there was so much of this stuff between.
But as you just said there, that's another tier. So you're saying, where does it stop? So why do essential workers get more treatment? It's the same with the vulnerable and whatnot. So they're the most vulnerable. So you could be vulnerable but still be an essential worker. It's not that you're getting more perks. It's just you're going above and beyond what the rest of the country is going. So you have healthcare, you have the guards, you have the fire service.
It's the difference between a vaccine and a hotel room, I think.
Yeah, I know that. But what you asked me was, why should they be treated differently? Because they're doing more than everybody else. Do you get me?
Yeah.
Everyone in the country... obviously there's horrific circumstances for people and people are out of work and so on and so forth, but as well there's people going out to work every day. I know 4 or 5 people that are going into a hospital every day, suiting up and doing 12 hours and coming home. That's much easier, or sorry, that's not very easy. There's people that sit at home all day and do nothing.
Yeah. So I don't know the circumstances of the hotel and how they delegate rooms or what the capacity is or any of that, but even me personally, I'm buying it.
even just a case in point, there was a campaign recently that citizenship should be fast tracked to members of the health service that have applied for citizenship by the Department of Justice. I totally agree with it.
Yeah,
totally agree with it. If you're working in the health service and you have a citizenship application in, of course you should be granted it. You're working in the middle of a global pandemic that has killed how many people?
Yeah.
You know, it's a case of you're going above and beyond, so you need to be rewarded for that. I don't think in relation to hotel quarantine, I don't know, you know, is there bias or whatever, but you know, if people are going out every day, no matter whether you're in the healthcare, working in retail, you know, I admire all these people. Like,
I do as well. I just thought the attitude of the video was entitled. It didn't sit right with me.
It annoyed you.
It did. It annoyed me. But moving on, we're going to agree to disagree here. What do you think of TikTokers trending on Twitter?
I have no dog in this fight. No. I saw a heading and I just didn't even click into it because Twitter. The only thing I use Twitter for is trending topics in relation to sports and whatnot. Yeah. Because once you go on to Twitter and you go down a rabbit hole, there's no coming back from it. All I can say on this topic is I can't imagine that it would be very nice for you to open an application on your phone and see your name trending and having people talking about you. I think it would be.
That happened to us, didn't it?
I think it would be quite awful. I do think it would be quite awful. I also think that you can't take what people say. You take it and just keep doing what you're doing and keep the head down and don't let naysayers get to you, because you're evidently doing better than everyone else that's probably sitting behind a keyboard. That's the way. Also, sorry, just in relation to Twitter, it's National Trans or International Trans Visibility Day. Always remember that trans rights are also human rights. This is a big issue at the moment. There's been laws passed in the US at the moment that, you know, are really draconian in relation to trans rights, which are just unacceptable. So I'd just like to say that we stand. Trans rights are human rights, so just wanted to get that in there as we mentioned the Twitter topic. But absolutely, yeah, no, I can't really imagine that if you opened up Twitter and saw your name on it with multiple tweets. Case in point, like, you know, a very close friend of ours was in that situation, and it's not nice.
But it was weird because we got tweeted about it as well, and it was just one tweet. But what did you think of that tweet? Basically, another TikToker was trending for several different reasons, but it was more so a collect group of people didn't agree that she was funny, and then another person who tweeted kind of threw me and Gordon in with that as well. He basically said that Cian Towney was responsible. Cian Towney, sorry. Cian
is actually a gent.
He is a nice guy.
Yeah. So Cian actually went to school with one of my best friends.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And Cian started making videos.
He made
2000. Started making. I want to say 2012.
Yeah.
He used to make them in his bedroom, like.
No, I remember he was on Vine and he was on.
Oh no, this is well before Vine, like.
Was it?
Oh yeah.
Was it Facebook then?
No, it was YouTube. He was making them on YouTube, and then he was on Facebook. And it was him.
I think it was Facebook. Yeah.
Then it was like him in his bedroom, like.
Yeah.
Yeah. He started a long time ago.
Yeah.
Like the Emily character was only new.
Oh, okay.
Like he was.
Yeah. It was Facebook that blew him up. He
started with. He started with Irish grandmother, and then he did Irish mother, and now he has Emily, the character, and yeah.
Yeah, bought his own house and everything. Absolutely killing it. So not a bad thing. Same with this tweet anyways. They basically said that he was responsible for kind of ruining Irish humour on social media, and that Murray Mullins, myself and Gordon and Rory's stories were, you know, in that bracket as well.
I'm just happy.
Honourable mention.
I'm just happy to be mentioned the same as those content creators, because they work hard every day. And
we're at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to them, but we're still
there. They work hard every day and they produce content. And you know, the thing about it is,
they're
like,
self-sufficient.
People are giving out about, like, people give out about people, but like at the end of the day, humor is subjective. So if you're as big as those people, the positives far outweigh the negatives.
Absolutely.
Just keep the head down and keep plugging away. You know, keep doing what you're doing.
Speaking of humor, what do you make of the whole Ollie Ball mania?
See,
it is mania.
Yeah, it is. Ollie Ball has blown up.
Yeah.
I personally don't get it. I don't understand it. I just don't. Like.
So I just said, "You're just too beautiful, girl. You don't know the next line?
Well, like, I know the Sean Kingston line.
Yeah. Do you know the Ollie Ball line?
I know he does it, but I don't. I thought you were asking me, do I find it funny? Like, no.
That's why you'll never learn. It's Ollie Ball here.
No, but I don't get it.
I think it's because they're kids. They're
See,
British.
You keep saying that, but like
it is.
But you keep saying that, but I've seen comment sections and people are just like, oh my god, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen. But to me, it isn't, which is fine. But
if you see a youngster and he's funny and he's quirky, then that kind of, for some reason, holds a bit more ground than an adult that has the same humor, because you kind of look at them and you go, oh, this kid is quirky for his age. He's funny.
I don't think that's it. I think people actually find it very funny, and I fair play. Like, boys are blowing up, love to see it. Like, but for me, I just don't understand that type of humor.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. That's what I think it is.
You love it, but you also loved Panda Girl.
Yeah,
but I didn't get.
I don't know if that's the same humor.
Oh, it is. Yeah,
is it?
Yeah, it's talking about food, like.
Yeah, I guess in a way. Yeah, you didn't find Panda Girl funny?
Nope. I just don't get. I don't understand it. Like, but then again, my favorite comedian's Frankie Boyle, like.
Yeah.
Or Ricky Gervais.
You've kind of different humor than me, I think.
Yeah, like,
I've always had very silly humor.
But see, I just don't like. I'm kind of looking at it, I'm like, where's the punchline? I'm not saying I'm funny now. Jesus,
yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Like, but to me, to me, The Office is funny. To me,
well, that's the thing though. I think it's not exactly extremely clever, but it's the display of personality that people love, and that's kind of why a lot of influencers are big in the first place. And that's why when these creators blow up and people see them on Twitter, they start bitching about them, because on Twitter they're just so cynical about it. They're just, and I'm not saying you are, by the way, but I'm just saying a lot of people from the outside will look at that and go like, where's the punchline? Where's, it's, and I will agree, it's not as clever as, Tony Cantwell, who's an Irish comedian. He's very good. Killer Sunday, we both like him. Darren Conway, I don't know if you're a fan of him, but these guys kind of are they'll be the guys at school that were always very naturally funny, and it's actually great to see them rise to the top and not your conventional, chicken fillet roll Irish mommy humor, which is very popular, but it is nice to see.
I'm not going to lie, I do find it funny.
What?
Chicken fillet roll, I do find it funny. Yeah, do you know who I enjoy?
Gordon enjoys chicken fillet roll jokes. Do you like wooden spoon jokes as well?
Oh god, so we've done one.
Yeah, we made fun of them though.
We still did them.
Yeah, but satirical.
Do you know who I enjoy? Aisling Kearns.
Do you?
I do.
Aisling, she does Irish mommy jokes.
So Aisling is a trained actress. She's a trained actor, yeah. She was in Darklands. She was in.
You have a bias then because she's an actress.
No, she has. She was in Darklands, and she was also in The Lieutenant of Irishman. Irishmore. Yeah, but no, she's very good. Like,
she's good at the Irish mommy impressions.
She's.
But for me, that humor is just not for me. No, she's the same as the Ollie Ball humor.
She's very good at, like, not just that. I've watched a couple of her things now. Just remember the collab she did with Chris and I'm Dumb. Yeah, that's hilarious.
That was good, but I think Chris is funny as well.
Chris is so funny.
Chris is very funny.
Chris is so funny.
Yeah, but what was my point again? Yeah, Ollie Ball. Gordon's not a fan.
It's not Gordon. See, that's misconstruing me now. Gordon doesn't get it.
Therefore, you're not a fan?
No, I'm independent.
Okay. Well, we've got about 2 minutes left here.
This has flown by.
Yeah, hasn't it? Time flies when the wine is rolling and the chats are going. Am I right?
You're not wrong.
I guess I'll bring it back to what we were talking about at the start.
You are not doing 2 minutes on this. You can make this a longer episode. You are not.
Well, I will make it a longer episode, but at the minute I'm not ready to give the full explanation. But yeah, I am leaving this house.
I swear, if you turn around and go, yeah, I'm leaving. All right, lads, good luck. Right, so listen. We have a month left. Gordon sees this as some sort of comeback for me grilling him in questions that he won't answer, and now he feels the need to do it to me, even though they're two different reasons. When did you decide to leave the house?
Before we moved in.
And what prompted that decision?
Did I say to you before we moved in?
What prompted the decision? No.
What?
What prompted the decision? No. Because these are questions we're going to be asked, right? He's not able to disclose at the moment, right? But we're going to go into this. Did we have a fight?
No.
We did not. Is it something one of us did?
No. Oh, that's your concern.
So these. Oh no! Like you think that I'm digging to be like?
Yeah,
oh,
I thought you were just grilled. You want to put me under pressure?
No. I'm asking the questions that everyone wants to know the answer to.
Okay. Sorry. So what else?
Right. So we haven't had a fight. He's not leaving because of one of us. He said this before he moved in. Yeah. So the time has come.
I did. I said this when we were in Galway.
Is he sad about this?
I'm incredibly sad. And it's always been there in the forefront, not in the forefront, but in the background. But it just wasn't real until I actually said it to you guys in the living room that time. And yeah, and then kind of when I emailed the landlord and stuff, that it kind of hit home then. And yeah.
How does it make you feel?
Sentimental, for sure. Yeah.
Want to expand on that?
It's a weird feeling. It's just something that I was always going to do and that I know I have to do, but nonetheless it still is a bit sad. And this feeling is familiar. The first time I left Dublin, I used to live here before the pandemic. I was so ready to leave because I had other plans. When I did leave, I was ready, but it still felt heavy. It still felt sad. It's change. Change always feels like that. Doesn't mean change isn't good. Change is necessary to grow and adapt. And I'll get into it properly, guys. But for now, I kind of said to Gordon, I didn't want to live in Dublin for that long. My plan was to live here for the 6 months. We made the lease 6 months. The 6 months is up. It's just time for me to move on to the next thing. Another question: are we going to keep making videos together? Yes. That is still going to keep going. The podcast is still going to keep going. In fact, my plan is to up the volume on all of this. So I think we're just getting started. Although we won't be under the same roof. It's just a start, and just to clear that up for you guys. If you're a patron, you probably will get the full scoop a lot faster. Can I see?
Oh, I can't wait for that.
Yeah. But that's it, guys.
Do you feel that the quality will be affected?
No.
By not living under the same roof?
Yeah, I think it'll be easier.
Do you think the quality would improve or decrease?
Improve.
Yeah. Interesting.
Definitely.
What else would you like to say about leaving?
That it's been great.
Tell the people. You don't have to tell me. He's told me all this in private.
Yeah.
Tell the people. The people that are
tuning in. I love living here.
The people that are tuning in. The people that have...
Well, we're running over time, but I'll wrap it up with this.
I've never seen a man want to get off of a camera so
I'm watching the time here.
Oh, but they'll watch it. When they see the thumbnail, they'll watch it. Don't worry, we've got all the time in the world.
This has been an amazing 6 months. It has literally gone like that. And I knew it would. But, I'm even though we've been together and we haven't always been hanging out at the same time and stuff, I've just been happy to be here and I've appreciated it, and just the good energy that is in this house, the creative mindset, everything we have in common. It's just the space, all of it, the house. It's just all been great.
What else would you like to tell the people?
Am I missing something?
No, I'm just wondering because genuinely, these are the questions that are going to all be asked. Yeah, because people are just curious anyway.
Yeah, don't make assumptions, guys. It's just my time to go.
But see, that's the thing. See, people will make assumptions, and it's just they want to know. They want you to bare your soul, as one would say. So yeah. I think you've answered the pretty regular ones. Mm-hmm. I don't think I can really think of any more. I think that's about it, really. Yeah.
I will be touching on this again. So there's one of these every week. There's Patreon bonus exclusive episodes. We will have more of them on the way, by the way. But yeah, any questions about anything, let us know below, guys.
Please do.
Thank you so much for listening. Give us some feedback. We would love some feedback. Anything you want to touch upon, any points of Gordon's you thought were wrong, etc. Just send them all below.
Love how you say, if you thought any Gordon's points wrong, but I'm not wrong, so...
I mean, or mine if you think so.
Oh, but Jesus, that took a lot for you to say. So.
But yeah, we're well over time, so guys, we'll catch you next week. And
it's been emotional, it's been educational. Thank you all for listening. We appreciate each and every single one of you.
Sweet dreams.